Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. I hope and trust you are well, and welcome to our. Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. I hope and trust you are well, and welcome to our. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. Got to close the YouTube live stream window. I was wondering what is happening. Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope and trust you are well. Welcome to our eighth session on the web development module. Congratulations for making it this far. A round of applause. A round of applause. Congratulations, everyone. Yeah, you've made it this far. You've made it this far. How amazing. How amazing. You must be very, very proud of yourself. I know I am. Yeah. It has been good. It has been good. It has been good. A wonderful 7 weeks on this web development journey. And as we come to a close, we will be tackling a topic that most of you have been asking about. How do we deploy our developed websites? How do we deploy our developed websites? So before that, let's have a look at week seven assignment. Week seven assignments. Assignments. Let's have a look what was required of you. So there were three parts to week seven assignments. Transitions and animations, JavaScript functions, and combining CSS animations with JavaScript. So your deliverables were three files, index.html, styles.css, and script.js. So you are supposed to showcase these three items. Yeah, I did something here. Let me just open it up. Something simple. Again, your assignments, these assignments are pretty straightforward. They are what we actually went through in class. So I consider them to be very easy. Very, very easy. So you had three parts, at least showcase CSS3 transitions and animations, JavaScript functions, and then you combine CSS animations and JavaScript. So there you have your three files. I did a simple hover button and a box, an animated box. So this one is showcasing transitions. The other one is showcasing animations. This is a simple JavaScript function. And then we combine JavaScript and CSS animations. You all remember our animations via transition property, the transition property. So for the button, we are simply changing the background. This is our duration. Transition, was it transition? I remember. Transition, what was it? What was it? Transition, why is it lost in my head? Timing function. Transition timing function. You have your duration and yeah. Then for your animation, you have your keyframes, your keyframe where you get to define some transition based on different breakpoints. Okay, different breakpoints. So here we're simply expanding this element and also changing its background. Yeah, so that is what I had for your week 7 assignment. Of course, I don't expect something similar, but at least you should make sure you meet all the deliverables. So you have your Hoover there. You have your Hoover, you have your animation or boxes pulsating while changing color. You have your JavaScript function, and finally your CSS and JavaScript combination. Yeah, so that is all that was required for you on week 7, of the assignment. Yeah, simple as that. So we can dive into this week's topic. Basically going into deployment and hosting. So first things first, before you get to actually deploy and host your website, you need to actually build it. So far we have been doing single page web pages, but now we are going to transition into multi-page websites, like what is out there. So usually when you have a website, it is a collection of multiple web pages. So you define your different web pages depending on what you want to display. But there are some core pages that you need to consider when designing multiple page websites. So definitely you need a landing page. We'll need a landing page, and we're going to use, as our point of reference, we are going to use the Powerland project website. You will need your landing page. That is the home page. You'll need our landing page. That is the home page. You will also need an About Us section. Definitely need to have that. And services. What services are you offering? What services are you advertising? That is also another core page. And finally, the Contact Us. So those 4 constitute the core pages that one would require to see on your website. You cannot miss those 4, okay? Because home presents your solution, About Us describes yourself, your services describes what you are offering, and the contact page gives us a way of reaching out to you. So planning your web page, your website is very, very important. Good websites are usually planned. So you need to plan your work way beforehand, before you write even the first line of code. Why are you designing and developing this website? What audience is it for? So you need to consider those things before you can actually begin the writing of the actual code. So plan ahead, identify your audience, define your goals and objectives, and then you gather the things that you'll need to create that website. Like you need to decide your must-have. just as I've mentioned, the must-have pages, the 4 must-have pages. Those ones are very, very important when you're creating your website. Number 2, after planning, is now your website structure and your sitemap. Your website structure and your sitemap. So how do you want your website to look like? There are so many websites on the internet. You can find inspiration from them just to get to know and have a look and feel of other websites and how they have been structured and designed. You can gain some inspiration from them. You can seek inspiration from them. Do not copy. Remember, there is the issue of copyright infringement. That is not something that you want to be on the wrong side of. You do not want to be on the wrong side of that copyright infringement. People have been sued for very large amounts of money just because you copied someone's work. So, yeah, you can get some inspiration from some website like the PLP website. You can get some inspiration. Just look at how it is designed. Maybe you would want something similar. Divide your content into sections and such. Maybe you like the color scheme, the way the gradient of the color blends so well for the website. So you can get that inspiration from different websites and web pages across the internet, but do not copy. Do not copy. Do not copy. Number 3 is your wireframes or your layout designs. Your wireframes or your layout designs. So far we have been designing our pages on the fly. We have been designing our pages on the fly, but when you are doing a proper website, you need to have proper layout designs and proper wireframes. So there are tools and technologies that can help you to do that. Things like Figma. I don't know if anyone has used Figma here, but that is a very, very wonderful tool that is used by designers in coming up with website structure and layout design. So if you are not privy to Figma, you can simply just sketch out your pages. Just sketch out. Provide a rough idea of what it is that you want. And the good thing about multi-page websites is usually the design is consistent across the multiple web pages. Across the multiple web pages. Case in point, like the PLP website. As you can see, no matter what page you navigate to, the design is pretty much consistent. You have different sections. You have the header and the footer is very, very consistent. Navigation bar is very, very consistent across the multiple web pages. The only thing that is changing is the content. The content between the header and the footer. That is the only thing that is changing. Yeah. After you've done your wireframes and rough sketches, is now your visual design. This is now where your web page, website will come to life by you giving it color and the outlook, basically the outlook of your website. So this is where you'll choose your color scheme. And be very careful with the colors that you choose. So as I was mentioning to the earlier class that a majority of you had decent portfolio websites or portfolio projects for your first hackathon. You had very decent portfolio websites, but the only thing that you were failing on, or one of the things that you were failing on, was your choice of colors. You need to choose colors that complement each other, colors that are not clashing, colors that are not shouting in quotes, okay? So choose colors that are reasonable, colors that are subtle. You don't want somebody visiting your site and they can't see anything because your choice of colors is just hurting their eyes. So choosing a color scheme is very, very important. So we all know visual design sets the tone for your site. Yeah, it creates the first impression for first-time visitors. So you need to get that right. Also, very, very important, choice of typography. And by typography, I'm referring to the font, the choice of font. Choice of font is also very, very important. A good font will change the outlook of your website. It will change the outlook of your website because it looks good. It also feels good. It also feels good, in quotes, just by using a proper font. So also choice of font is very, very important. Choose font that is legible, something that can be read. We know you can use different fonts. Yes, you are the designer and developer of the website, but your choice of font needs to be reasonable, something legible. Something legible. And also, do not ever use more than 2 or 3 fonts. Not use more than 2 or 3 fonts. Try and be consistent throughout. Try and be consistent throughout, such that, if possible, just use one font. That will be more than adequate for a multi-page website. Just one font. You can play around with the font weight. Yes, use different weights, that is boldness, if you're trying to highlight specific areas of text. So after your visual design comes the content creation. Comes the content creation. Depending on what site or what website you want to create or develop, you need to have content with it. You need to have content for it. So yeah, content creation, probably not one of the strongest suit for developers, myself included. We developers, we usually don't have content. I won't lie to you. Developers are people of very few words. I don't know about lady developers, but for the gentlemen, yeah, for the gentlemen, it's usually a struggle coming up with content for your website. That is the text and your images. Usually a struggle, Yeah. So research into your website. What are you developing a website for? Is it an e-commerce site? Are you doing a school website? Are you doing a catering website? Are you doing a travel website? And just research more on content that you can include on that website. Yeah, because content can also make or break your website. Needs to be very relevant to your topic. Needs to be very relevant to your topic. Should be engaging. It should be informative and also tailored to your audience. Remember, during the planning stage, who are you creating this website for? What is your audience? So your content needs to be tailored for your audience. And this will save you time way before you start developing, if you have this content ready. Number 6 is now choosing your technologies and tools. Choosing your technologies and tools. So far we have been building our pages from scratch using vanilla HTML, CSS, and JS. But as you graduate and move on to the next phase of your development journey, you can now explore different tools and technologies that you can use for the development of your websites. So you have that option. Am I going to start from scratch? Just do it old school. Just do it old school, the hardcore way, or do I need to use tools and technologies to make my work easier and faster? Okay, so you can consider those. For your tools and technologies, we have technologies called content management systems. Content management systems. These ones really help you during your development process. Some of them is basically drag and drop. You just select an element, drag it onto a page, make sure it looks good, and you save that, and you have your web page. So yes, those tools exist. So during your free time, you can explore tools such as WordPress. We have WordPress. This is a very, very popular content management system. It has been around for a while now. It has been around for a while now. We have an old school one. I used this one back in the day. It's called Joomla. It's called Joomla. I hope it's still active. You have Wix. You have Wix. You have Wix. Wix is another website builder that you can consider. So these ones are content management systems. These ones, they are mostly used to build dynamic websites. And by dynamic, I mean most of the content that you build using these CMSs are usually stored in a database. From your images to your text, everything is usually stored in a database, okay? So when you load this website, it fetches content from the database and then displays it on a front end. So that is what a CMS is, a content management system. So you can either choose to go this way, or you can choose to code everything from scratch like we have been doing. Then we have enter the world of libraries and frameworks, just to make your life a bit easier. So for your libraries, we have things like Bootstrap, that is a CSS and JS library. We have jQuery. This is another, this is a JavaScript library. We have Tailwind. Tailwind is a CSS utility first library, okay? And then you have your frameworks. You have React. You have Vue.js. You have Vue.js. You have Angular. Yeah, so these are basically front-end frameworks that you can use to develop your websites. And they are all based on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That is why we advocate for you to know the fundamentals first and understand those fundamentals, and then you can venture into libraries and frameworks. But with these frameworks and libraries, your work will now become much easier and faster to do, become very easy to develop your websites, even just making your pages responsive, especially with the CSS libraries such as Bootstrap. Becomes very easy to do so. Maybe you can see some examples here. You have even drop downs, you have buttons, and you have a pricing page, a checkout page, a product page, a dashboard. Designing becomes very easy. Becomes very easy. So they really lighten your load, your workload, and shorten your time when it comes to development. So libraries and framework. But if you're looking for an easy way out, I know we are there, some of us. I know we are there, some of us. Yeah, if you're looking for an easy way out, if you're looking for an easy way out, then you can go the template way. You can go the template way. You can go the template way if you're looking for an easy way out. Yeah, I wouldn't advocate for this one. I really wouldn't advocate for this one. But it is an option. I don't want to deny, but it is an option. You can even download a WordPress theme, a whole theme. Okay. You have your admin templates, email templates, site templates, e-commerce, portfolio websites, even templates made for React. See examples of portfolios. It's a live preview. So this one offers you yes, just a carbon copy of a working site with all the pages necessary. Yours will only be to change the information. So you can go this way. You can always go this way. The problem is if you go this way, someone else goes this way, and you're presenting you're presenting similar work. You're presenting similar work. That is the major problem. You find yourself working for two competing companies and you decided to go the template way. Yeah. Yeah. And the developer from the other side decides, let me go for a template. And you guys go for the same thing. Yeah, so that is a possibility because these ones are paid for. And it's not that if you pay for mine, I will take it off the market. No, this will always be available for others to download. So you can have a look at Envato. These ones are paid for. Yeah, Envato. I don't know if Envato does free. I'm not sure. You can have a look at Theme Forest. Theme Forest is another one. Theme Forest is another one. Theme Forest is another one. You have Template Monster. You have Template Monster. Yeah, so this one is the most easiest way. This one is the most easiest way for designing your web pages for your website. Yeah, so you have options, you have options, you have options. You have those options. But don't take this route if you cannot prove you cannot prove some of these things. I know some will download templates and put them up on their repositories, try to pass that work as their own. If I was your interviewer, I would really question you just to get to know and understand. Are you the one who actually did this work? So yeah. But you give credit where credit is due, okay? If you did not design something, just make sure you give credit. Just make sure you give credit. But if the owner allows you to remove copyright information, well and good, remove it. But give credit where credit is due. So after your layout design, after choosing your technologies and tools, then you have before that, so we've done what? Oh, we've selected our technologies and tools. Then is your development phase. After that is your development phase. This is where you write the actual code. You write the actual code. Whichever option that you choose, whether you're coding from scratch, whether you're using CMS, whether you're using frameworks and libraries, whether you're using a template that you've downloaded, there will be a need for you to actually go into the code. There will be a need for you to actually go into the code and modify that code. Yeah, so next is your development phase where you code your front end if you're doing basically a static website. So a static website is one that is not served by any backend or is not served by a database. So we call that a static website. Okay, a dynamic website is one that is served by a backend or a database. If you're connecting to a database, then that makes your website or web application dynamic. So those are the two major differences. But if you're doing simple front end where you have your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, that will be referred to as a static website. Okay, that will be referred to as a static website. So this is where you write your code. You will style with CSS, write your HTML structures and elements. You will add interactivity with JavaScript. You'll do your animations and transitions. And if you're doing backend development, then you also decide what language am I doing for the backend? Am I doing Python? Am I doing JavaScript? Am I doing PHP? Am I doing a framework for the backend? That can be Django. It can be Laravel, Symfony, such things. So you decide. Also for backend development, you need to decide on your database. Am I doing a relational database such as MySQL? Or am I doing Postgres? Or am I doing a NoSQL database such as MongoDB? So you make such decisions. So after your development phase, then comes your testing phase. Your testing phase. Remember, before you make your website available, you need to ensure everything is working well. Everything is working well. Everything is interacting well and properly. And ensure you provide a great user experience. And because you are the developer, the designer, you will tend to be biased, okay? You will tend to be biased. So you need to have, you can share your, you can share a test link with a group of friends or a group of people, or showcase it to a group of people just to understand how do they relate to the website? How do they use it? Is your user journey well defined? When I visit your website, do I know actually what is going on? How is the flow of information? Is it structured in a way that I can easily follow? Okay. Are there visual guides on your website just to show me this is what I'm supposed to do, and then followed by this and this? Okay, so yeah, testing will help you with that so that you get to understand how are users relating with my website. And thereafter, you can make your necessary corrections to ensure a great user experience. Also, testing involves making sure that your browser works very well across multiple, your website works very well across multiple browsers. So you have your major browsers. I think those ones are the most important ones. So you have Chrome, you have Firefox, you have Safari, you have Edge. Those are major browsers. So how does your website look? How does it behave across those browsers? Is it working well? Is there something that you need to patch up? Okay, so also consider that during testing. Another important thing to consider is mobile responsiveness. Yeah, you know, in the age that we live in, basically anyone above, I don't know, maybe 15 years has a smartphone. I'm not sure. But the age is becoming less and less. Yeah, I've seen even toddlers with with smartphones. Yeah, so you also need to consider that because a large pool of your visitors to your website will be people coming, accessing it via mobile phones, smartphones. So consider mobile responsiveness, very, very important. That one is not an option in this day and age. That one you just have to do. It's not an option. You just have to do mobile responsiveness. So to ensure your clients or users can access your website, your web application via a smartphone or a mobile device, such as a tablet. And then debugging. During your testing phase, of course, you will realize some things are not working well. So you need to test out everything, your forms. Are they submitting well? Are they capturing information well? Are you doing your validation very well? Okay. So if anything is not working, then you will enter your debugging phase where you try to fix these errors and bugs. You try to fix these errors and bugs. And also remember the developer tools. The developer tools are very, very important. And they are very crucial during this stage. Yeah, we only saw minimal use of the developer tools, such as inspection, your console, where your errors will be displayed. But there's so much more that you can do with the developer tools. So you can actually look at page speeds. How long does it take for your page to load? How long does it take for your page to load? And then you can optimize accordingly. So optimization is simply doing things like making sure your images are loading faster by having small images, small size images. Choose PNG over JPEG. Choose PNG over JPEG. PNG was the one that was created for websites. Currently, we have WebP. WebP is an image format that is specifically made for the web. So yeah, make sure you are considering such things when you are developing your websites. So after your testing and debugging, you are sure everything is working well. Now you go into the launch phase. You go into the launch phase and marketing. Launch phase and marketing. So during launch, this is where you make your website available to others on the public internet. On the public internet. So one, you need to choose a hosting provider. You need to choose a hosting provider. It is possible to host your own website, but then again, yeah, it is not reliable. You cannot reliably host your own website, but it is possible. It is possible. It is very, very possible. There are tools that can actually help you to do that, but they are not free. They are not free. They are not free. So it will start right from your internet provider. They will need to provide you with a static IP address. Once you have a static IP address, you can register a domain name and point it to that IP address. and then use these tools and technologies to expose that static IP to the public internet. So it is very, very possible, but it's quite a lot of work. So that is why we choose hosting providers, people who offer this service for hosting. So depending on what you choose, make sure your hosting provider is a reliable hosting provider. So you've launched your website, you need traffic. You need traffic for your website. So promote your website, especially on social media. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have Twitter. Promote your website as much as possible. Yeah, traffic is what drives growth in this internet business. Yeah, so promote your websites. And during this phase, you'll also be monitoring your performance, the website performance. How is it working? Are you getting any errors? Are you getting any errors? What is the performance like? You can track your visitors. And the good thing is most hosting providers will give you a way for tracking such statistics. How many visitors did you have in the past day, in the past week, in the past month? What was the overall site health over the past few hours? Were there any errors? And so on and so forth. Okay. And finally, not forgetting, you have ongoing maintenance and updates. Ongoing maintenance and updates. Yeah, the web is a very dangerous place. There are people who are always lacking, trying to look for websites that they can access without permission. Yeah, so be very, very careful, especially with your frameworks and libraries. Always keep them up to date. That is a major point of vulnerability when it comes to websites and web applications. If you do not keep up to date with your programming language, okay, things are constantly changing, constantly evolving. So your programming languages will always have newer and better versions, improving on the previous versions. So always keep yourself updated on the latest versions for your programming language, for your libraries, and for your frameworks. You don't want to be left behind and are left vulnerable. While others updated their languages, you're still in an old version. That can really, really cost you. So keep yourself up to date and always monitor the security of your web application. Monitor the security of your web application. As I've said, we have people who are just malicious, evil. You go to sleep, your website is working fine. The next morning, it has been defaced, or you can't even log into your web host, or somebody just logs in and drops your database. Wow. So make sure your security is very, very tight. Yeah, so yeah, so those are some of the steps that will go into planning and organizing your multi-page website project. Okay. So we head on to the actual hosting and deployment. Actual hosting and deployment. The actual hosting and deployment. So what is web hosting? So once you've built your website, the next essential step is to host it and make it available to the world. So web hosting simply involves storing your website files on a server. A server is just a computer like any else. And deployment refers to the process of uploading these files so that they can be accessed on the internet. So consider hosting just like getting space on the public internet where you can store your website or web application files. So that is basically hosting. So there are 4 types of major hosting, web hosting. There are 4 types. We'll just list them and then go through them one by one. Sorry. So for your hosting, one, we have shared hosting. Maybe I can begin with the free one. No, it's not free. Wait, shared hosting. Shared hosting. So this is the one that you would come across. So this one is very cheap. One characteristic, it is very, very cheap or affordable. Let me not call it cheap. Affordable is a good word. Some of you realize see the word cheap and you'll never go for that option. So it is very affordable. It is very affordable. So I have mentioned a server is basically a computer. A server is basically a computer, but unlike your computer, this one is specifically made for these specific functions. So it's a very powerful computer, okay? So with shared hosting, this is where several clients, such as yourself, have rented out space on a single server and are sharing the resources of that server. So consider something like an apartment complex with several houses, but water is being shared, electricity is being shared, and the likes. So that is like shared hosting. You have one computer or one server, and several of you have rented space within that server, and they're sharing the CPU, they're sharing the storage. Basically, they're sharing those resources. So one major pitfall of this is it has performance limitations. Let me just ask you a very simple question. How many times have you used your own laptop? And sometimes you open a certain program and your laptop hangs in the middle of something you are doing. How is that experience? Can you imagine that happening on your website? Can you imagine you can't access your website just because the resources are depleted? So yeah, that is the downside of shared hosting. Yes, it is affordable, but you have performance limitations because everyone is using the same thing. Everyone is using the same thing. So if it is processing power, you're all using the same. You're all using the same. So during peak hours or peak time, you will definitely notice a drop in performance. So you have that. Next, we have virtual private servers. Virtual private servers, or VPS in short. VPS. So with VPS, this one is an improvement on shared hosting. It is an improvement. It is still shared in some sense, but you have a dedicated portion. You now have a dedicated portion. You have a dedicated portion of a server. So this one is a bit more expensive, but it gives you more control. It gives you more control on what you can configure, unlike the shared hosting. You know, with the shared hosting, when you go to look for a house, when you go to look for a house, you cannot dictate what the house will look like, or some of the resources that will be there. Okay. So, but with virtual private servers, now you have more control. You can actually do your own configurations and own settings. And depending on the price, yeah, you can increase those resources. You can increase those resources. So virtual private servers offer that. Number three is a dedicated hosting. So unlike virtual private servers and shared hosting, this one, you have a whole server to yourself. You have a whole server to yourself. It's like somebody giving you a computer and telling you now, I'm renting out this to you. This will be your monthly charge, but I'm giving it to you in whole. So you have a whole computer to yourself. You can manage it. It offers more control, unlike the virtual private server, but your pocket will cry. Your pocket will cry. So this one is very, very powerful, but on the other extreme, very, very expensive. So this is where you'll find enterprise level applications. Big businesses and organizations prefer this because then you have more control, you have more power. Yeah. So that is the third option. And number four, we have our cloud solutions. We have our cloud solutions. So here we have the likes of Google Cloud. I'm sure you've heard of it. We have AWS. We have Azure. We have Azure. Part of AWS is you have DigitalOcean. Yeah, DigitalOcean is part of AWS. Yeah, so you have your cloud providers such as those ones. Those are cloud solutions. So these ones have a myriad of services that they offer. But when it comes to web hosting specifically, they have very, very good offerings. So one of the things that I like about cloud solutions is the way that they can automatically scale up and down depending on the usage of your applications. So in the moment, let's say you have a web application, and during peak times, you have upwards of 1,000+ users accessing your application. So with cloud solutions, they can automatically scale up. By automatically scaling up is they can automatically increase resources to meet that demand. And when the demand goes down, they scale down as well. So they give you that flexibility when it comes to cost. They give you that flexibility when it comes to costs so that you only pay when the need arises. You only go above and beyond when the need arises. And another benefit is your application or solution is hosted across multiple servers. It is hosted across multiple servers. So you're always guaranteed of some form of uptime. So if one region goes down, your application will always be available. Your application will always be available. So what are some of the things that you need to consider when you are selecting a hosting provider? What are some of these things that you need to consider? So when it comes to selecting a hosting provider, there's no group of criteria that fits everyone. So every developer, every solution is unique in its own way, but there are several criteria that you need to consider before choosing a hosting provider. So number one is scalability. So I think I found something that my computer will not complete. It is not aware of this. Number one is scalability. So when scalability, so this is especially when it comes to resources. Can you scale? Can you scale when it comes to resources? If I have a surge of traffic, can I be able to scale up to meet that demand? So you also need to consider that. Two is cost. This one is a major criteria. Major criteria. How much are you willing to spend? How much are you willing to spend? Are you a freeloader? Sorry to say, are you a freeloader? But free options are also very good, but they are good for MVPs. They're good for MVPs. You can't do a production website on a free hosting site. So that won't be viable. So if you're trying to prove an idea, then you can use a free hosting site. Otherwise, you can use pay as you go. So those ones are mostly cloud solutions. Okay. And then you have your fixed monthly. Those ones are dedicated, virtual, and shared. So cost is a very huge criteria when it comes to hosting. Cost is a very huge criteria. You can also consider ease of setup. Ease of setup as another criteria. Ease of setup. How easy is it to set up your website? How long will it take? Is it only a few minutes? Is it drag and drop? Is it very easy, or is it entirely very hard? Like dedicated hosting. Remember dedicated hosting, you're doing everything for yourself. So you'll have to install your database, you'll have to install your hosting application, whether it is Apache or Nginx. Okay, so you're basically just managing everything for yourself if it is dedicated hosting. So consider ease of setup. And also maintenance. Will your hosting provider offer you help when you run into an issue or you're on your own? Okay, so next is also performance. Performance is also very important. Performance is also very important. What guarantees can your provider give you? Do they guarantee a 99.99% uptime? Or what are their fallbacks? When the site goes down, what assurances do they give you? Next is security. When I upload my files and my database, is my data secure? Do you offer backups? Regular backups. Those are also things to consider, such that when my site goes down, I can quickly bring it up with a backup you offered. You can also consider storage and databases. Storage and databases. And finally, also consider your future. Also consider your future. Consider your future. Do I have a future with this hosting provider, or am I locked in? Can I only use this type of programming languages? Or they are flexible. I can use any language that I want. They are open for me to use any language. Am I locked into specific software and languages? So also consider your future as part of your criteria when choosing a hosting provider. Okay. Yes. So that is done. I think now we can do our hosting and deployment practically. So for the purposes of this lesson, I had created a repository. So let me do this. So here is the repository on the chat box. So get the repository on the chat box. So I saw some people had an issue. So just download the zip. Download the zip. Don't clone the repository. Some people had an issue. So download the zip. Download the zip file. Download the zip file. And then after downloading, come back to GitHub and create a new repository. Create a new repository. So we are going to start off with the most simplest way of hosting a static website. The use of GitHub pages. The use of GitHub pages. So on the chat box is the link to the repository that we'll be using. Just something small that I put up real quick for purposes of this lesson and topic. But I'm sure if you go through it, you'll find it covers everything that we've done since week 1. You have your HTML structure, you have a semantic HTML, you have images, you have sections and divs, you have a form. You don't have a table, but your styling, we have colors, we have typography, you have animations, you have transitions, you have also your JavaScript. So basically covers everything that we've done over the past 7 weeks. So create your repository and upload those files to your own repository. The files that you've downloaded, upload them to your own repository. So GitHub Pages offers you a very simple way to host your website, static website, and then go live. So one thing I need to make clear is your repository needs to be public. Make sure your repository is public. Make sure it is public. Private repositories, you need to pay for that. So just confirm to me you've uploaded to your own repository by show of a thumbs up so that we proceed. Hey, I've only counted 10. Where are the rest 280? So download the repo files from what I've shared and then upload them to your own repository. Create a repository on GitHub and upload those files. So next, we are going to settings. Navigate to settings on your GitHub account. on that repository that you have uploaded your files to. Remember, this is on your own GitHub account. You cannot do this on my own repository. So this is on your own GitHub account. So go to settings, and under settings, you will see pages. You will see pages on the left sidebar menu. You will see pages. You will see pages. So click on pages, click on pages, click on pages. It will open the GitHub pages tab. So just as the description says, GitHub pages is designed to host your personal, organizational, project pages from a GitHub repository. That is why we really advocate for GitHub. Yeah, this repository will really save you a lot of time. Okay, and you can always track your history, track your changes. Yeah, it's a good way of managing your project. So settings, and then pages, settings, and then pages. So you'll see your build and deployment section. So it should already be selected, deploy from branch. That is the default, deploy from branch. And then you will select your branch right after that. So you select main, and then click on save. Select main and then click on save. So once you do that, then you will wait for a minute or two, refresh that page, and you should see a URL displayed right at the top under GitHub pages, right at the top under GitHub pages. What are the hands for? What are the hands for? Are you stuck somewhere? If you're only stuck, oh, yes, Bilal, what is the issue?
The issue is about uploading the files to my GitHub.
I think that one everyone knows. Who doesn't know how to upload files to a repository? How have you been doing your assignment?
Is that the normal way as pushing
Yes,
it
just push those files to that repository you've created.
without unzipping them, or
You need to unzip them.
so to extract first and then to push?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Is there any other issue?
Excuse me. Hello.
Yes.
My uploaded file is empty.
Your uploaded file is empty.
Yes.
So which file have you uploaded that is empty?
The one that I have downloaded, the one that you've sent the link to, the repo.
Yeah, you need to unzip that folder before you upload the files.
Okay.
Any other question? Okay. So after you've downloaded, unzipped, and created a new repository, uploaded the files to the repository, then you come to settings, navigate to settings on your newly created repository. Yeah? So let us get that clear. On your newly created repository, navigate to settings and then pages. and then pages, and then pages, and then pages. So under build and deployment, make sure you're deploying from a branch. And on the branch, select main, select main, select main. You don't have to select root or docs. That one should be fine as the default. And then click on save. So once you click on save, it should configure your website. So give it a minute or two and then reload your page. You should see your link being displayed under the GitHub pages. So please confirm to me you've been able to do that by posting your GitHub page link on the chat box. Post to me your GitHub page link on the chat box. Yes, thank you, Bosco, Bildad, Vincent, Nadifa, Bet Levy. Maybe I'll just select one of yours. We need to confirm. We need to confirm. No, you're pasting for me the pages. No, 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 no. I need the hosted link. Yes, this is what I have. This is from Justina Mwamburi. Yes, this is correct. This is very, very correct. This is correct. Good stuff. No, guys, you're pasting for me the settings page. I don't need the settings page. I need you to host it using GitHub pages, using the steps I have read out to you. So this is good. This is good. Another one from Brian. Yes. So this is what you should have. This is what you should have. So if you've correctly followed the steps, you should have a link to the live site of the repository. You should have a link of the live site to the repository. Okay. So this link, you can share it with anyone. You can share it with anyone and they will actually be able to see this work. As long as they have an active internet connection, they should be able to see that work. So once again, the steps are, I've shared the repository on the chat box. You are to access that repository and download the project files. After downloading, you are to unzip that folder, extract all the files from that folder, then head back to GitHub, create a new repository, and push those files to that new repository. Once you're done, navigate to settings, and then on the sidebar menu, navigate to pages. On pages, build and deployment should be selected, deploy from a branch. And on the branch section, select main and then click on save. Select main and then click on save. So give it a minute or two and it should launch. You should see, just reload the page, you should see a link to your live site. No, you cannot git clone. This is my repository. Okay. This is my repository. You cannot clone this repository and then push the changes back. On the GitHub UI, you can download the code base On the green button for code, there's an option for download zip. Forking will still work, but you need to change the remote URL. Okay. So, yeah, so that's it for GitHub pages. The link should appear here under GitHub pages, that section for GitHub pages. The link should appear there at the top once you're done with the setup. The link should appear at the top. Okay. So that was method number one, using GitHub pages. That one is the easiest and most straightforward, right from GitHub itself. Right from GitHub itself. That is the most easiest way you can deploy a live link to your site. That is the most easiest way. So that is method number one. Method number two, can we move on to method number two? Method number two, so one was GitHub pages. Method number two is Vercel or Netlify or any other related hosting solution such as this. But for purposes of this, I will be doing Vercel. They are basically the same. They are basically the same. They are basically the same. So let us navigate to Vercel. Just type in vercel.com. Type in vercel.com. So this is another hosting solution. It has a free tier. It has a free tier. It has a free tier. It's called Hobby. Perfect starting place for your web app or personal project. Free forever. It's even in bold. Free forever. So some benefit of this is import your repo, deploy in seconds. And then we have automatic CI/CD. CI/CD refers to continuous improvement, continuous deployment. So what this does is, once you deploy your website and you need to make changes, you'll only push changes to your repository. Immediately those changes are detected, your website will be updated automatically. Your live website will be updated automatically. That is the beauty of such solutions. It's called continuous integration or continuous improvement, continuous deployment, CI/CD. You have a web application firewall. You have a global automated CDN. A CDN is a content delivery network. So what CDNs help with is they make sure your content is available in multiple places. So they work in such a way that when your user is accessing your website from South Africa, the nearest CDN is the one that will serve that client from South Africa. If they are accessing from Asia, the nearest CDN is the one that will serve that client, therefore making your website very, very efficient. DDoS mitigation, DDoS. This DDoS is a form of attack on web applications and websites. In full, it is called dedicated denial of service attack. A dedicated denial of service attack is when a hacker or a malicious user will send so many requests to your web application or your website in a very short amount of time. You'll be receiving like maybe 1 million requests. This makes your server to become overwhelmed, and eventually it gives up and shuts down. So you have your DDoS mitigation there, and you also have your traffic and performance insights, like I was mentioning during your maintenance phase. These are things you'll monitor. How are people accessing my site? How many people access my site on Monday, in the last hour, in the last week, and so on and so forth. So let us begin by creating an account on Vercel. So sign up, click on sign up, click on sign up. So this is just a personal project. I don't know if I have an account here. Probably I have one. So sign up. Oh, sorry. Sign up with GitHub. Sign up with GitHub. I forgot that. Sign up with GitHub. That would make things very, very easy for you. Sign up with GitHub. So you'll get a prompt to authorize Vercel. You'll get a prompt to authorize Vercel. Once you authorize Vercel, this will make it to fetch all your repositories. It will make it to fetch all the repositories available on your GitHub account and list them ready for deployment. List them ready for deployment. So after authorizing the Vercel application, you will be navigated to the dashboard. Very simple dashboard. So you have your Git repositories on the left and your templates on the right. So because we are using Git repositories, please look for your repository here. Look for your repository here. Just locate your repository there on the section for repositories, and then click on import. Click on import. Because ours is a very simple static website, there is nothing else that you need to do. You can simply click on deploy and you will be done. But if it was any other application, maybe a Node.js application, then you would need, or a React application, you would actually need other commands to run it. These ones, you place them within the build section, the build and output settings. You place them here. You place them here. So you can simply edit that, place those commands there. Okay. If you have an app and it has environment variables, so you've created a backend application, you have your env variables. These are your passwords, your client secrets, client keys, client IDs, database user, database password, database host. If you have all those in an env file, remember, never, ever, under any circumstance, ever upload your env file to a GitHub repository. Do not ever do that, okay? Never, ever. So your hosting provider will provide you a section to save those variables, and you do not need to make any changes to your code. They will still be accessed the same way. So you can add those envs here. You can add those variables here. And once you're done, you simply click on deploy. Once you're done, simply click on deploy. So you have your logs there. You have your logs just showing you what is happening. And once it is done, you'll get a message. Congratulations, you just deployed a new project. You just deployed a new project. So if you have a custom domain, you can add it. Otherwise, you can continue. So this is your project. You should see your domain. You should see your domain. Should be the name of the repository with some random characters, but ending in vercel.app. Ending in vercel.app. So there you should have something like that. The good thing about this project is the images are very, very random. The images are very, very random. I know somebody is going to ask, why does my website not look like yours? Yeah, so the images are randomly fetched and displayed. So those are the steps when you are hosting with Vercel. One, sign up for an account on Vercel. Use GitHub. Use GitHub. So use GitHub as your method of signing up. This will prompt you to authorize the Vercel app to access your GitHub repositories. Once you are done authorizing, you should be redirected to the dashboard. On the dashboard, select the repository that you want to deploy. Click on import. Since this is a very static website, no other settings need to be changed. Just click on the deploy button. It should take a few seconds. It should take a few seconds and you will have your live site. You will have your live site. So in case we make any changes, to our repository, this should automatically reflect. Let us just change something. Let me change the footer. Let me change the footer. Let me change the footer. Commit these changes. Commit those changes. So my footer currently does not have my change, but because of the CI and CD automation, any change that I make becomes available on the live site. I hope you have been able to see that. So just try and modify your any file, the index file. Just try and modify the index file on your repository and then come back and reload the page. You should see that change automatically being displayed. Yeah, so that is continuous integration or improvement, continuous deployment. Yeah, so that is Vercel or Netlify. Netlify has the same process. They're basically just the same. Maybe the difference would be in the user interface, but the process is simply the same. Sign up using GitHub, authorize Netlify, select your repository, and then deploy. Those steps should be the same for Vercel. Those steps should be the same for Vercel. In as much as these offer free tiers for hosting, remember there are limitations. There are limitations. There are limitations on what you can do with this free tier hosting. So, but if you have a static site, go for it. Go for it. If you have a static site, go for it. Yeah, gives you a very wonderful way for you to showcase some of those projects that you've been creating. So you do not have to pay for hosting. You can simply use these options. Have your sites online forever, such that when you are creating your portfolios, you have a link to a live site. You have a link to a live site, and there you have saved some cost. You have saved some cost. Maybe the only cost you will incur if you need a custom domain. If you need a custom domain, then you would go to a domain service registrar. A domain service registrar. They're called registrars. I think every country has their own specific registrar. But that is when you need to register a domain. Domain service. Domain name service. Domain name service registrar. So these ones offer registration services for the domain names. This is what I'm referring to as a domain name. We are using the PLP one for example services purposes. So this is what I'm referring to as a domain name. Up to here, up to here, this is what we refer as the domain name. The second bit after the dot, this second bit, this one is known as a TLD. Top level domain, top level domain. And there are several. Yes, you've come across them. So we have .com. You have .com. You have country level, .ng, .ke, .sa, .tz, .ug, and so on and so forth. Most universities, you will see .ac followed by the country code. So for Kenya, you see something like that, .ac, .ke. We also have .biz. There are so many nowadays. There are so many. Yeah, so those ones are the ones we refer to as top level domains. Top level domains. So if you need a custom domain, you can always register one. It is not free, unfortunately. It is not free. If you need a custom domain, you can register one. I don't know how the costs range on your site, but costs vary according to the registrar or the service provider. The costs usually vary. And the domain name is subject to availability. Domain name is subject to availability. So you might want a specific domain name and find it is not available because somebody else already took it up. So always subject to availability. And they are registered for a minimum of 1 year, but you can do a maximum of however long you are able to, depending on your pocket, depending on your pockets. But the minimum is usually 1 year, 1 year for domain registration. So after you've registered your domain, you can simply come back to your free hosting and set up a custom domain. You can set up a custom domain. So like Vasel, you'll come to domains and click on edit, and simply change this. Change this. So this is the one that was configured for us. By default, you can simply change that to your newly registered domain and then save that. Then save that, and it will display that as your new domain name. Yeah, so the other type of hosting that I wanted to show you is, unfortunately, I do not have access to dedicated, do I have virtual? Let me show you one more. Let me show you one more. Just a minute, let me just log in. Yeah, so let me show you another hosting solution. Let me show you another hosting solution. Yeah, so this is something that you would see. This is actually Microsoft Azure. This is Microsoft Azure. So they offer different services. They offer different services. There's nothing active here as yet, but you can see the services that they offer. So you have app services. So these ones are the ones that I was actually talking about, where you can configure automatic scaling for different applications. So web, mobile, APIs, yeah, you can do that all from here. You have your databases. You have your databases there. You have your virtual machines. This is the VPS that we were talking about. This is the VPS we were talking about. You have your storage accounts and so many other things. So many other things. The other one you'll come across is shared. So shared. This one is an example of shared. You are usually given this panel. It's called a C panel. You're presented with this panel where you can manage your website hosting. So you can do things like email. You can do, you have your file manager. This is where you'd come to upload your files. And typically, they are usually uploaded in the public _HTML folder. That is where they will become available on the public internet. Okay. You can also configure your databases. You can configure your domains, including subdomains. You have your metrics, your error logs, your statistics, including traffic. You have your different security features, and you have your different software that you can upload. You have things like WordPress that we've mentioned. You have you can set up a Python app, a Node.js app. You can select your PHP version and so on and so forth. So these are examples of some of those solutions that you would come across when it comes to hosting. Yeah, so I think I will stop there. And sip some coffee. and welcome your questions if there are any. Yes, can I get your question, please?
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Ayoringe. I'm from Nigeria. So, I had a challenge while I was trying to host on Vercel. So, I discovered that after I selected sign up with GitHub, it's prompted me to authorize, which I did, and eventually it returned me to the login page, and it said uh, your account requires further verification. Please contact, give me an email that I should contact that. So I don't know if that is a usual error, if there's something I did wrong. Thank you.
Yeah, have you tried signing up before?
I remember I've tried before. I've actually tried because I have experience with hosting. I've been using Netlify. I've been using other platforms, but I decided to throw this one to you. Maybe you might have ideas because I've not been able to successfully host on uh, Vercel.
So probably you have an account already active. Have you tried logging in instead of sign up?
Yes, I tried logging in, and every time I tried it always eventually take me back with that same error.
Yeah, so probably there is an issue with your with your Vercel account. So unfortunately, I can't assist with that one. You just have to follow the instructions that they give. So maybe they'll be able to sort you out. Eh?
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. But typically that happens when you already have an existing account and they need to verify something before they can activate. Eh?
All right, sir. Get
Yeah.
that. Thanks.
Next question, please. Next question, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. I had a question on VPN websites.
Sorry.
I've posted my question on the Q&A in the platform.
Q&A. Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, so there are sites like the judiciary website with features like login into the dashboard, which require VPNs. Kindly would you elaborate? So VPNs are restricted and secured networks, virtual private networks. So
Yeah.
when you come across a site that requires you to have been logged into a VPN, means that site is restricted on the IP address that can access it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one is it. That one is restricted on the code base itself. Okay,
Oh,
so yeah, because which VPNs usually have a static IP address,
yeah.
not like the ones we access with our public internet, because those ones are always dynamic. They're always changing. But if you have a
Okay.
VPN service, you have a static IP address. So that means you're always going to be using one IP address.
Yeah.
So this offers an extra level of security for your website, ensuring that only people that have that specific IP address can access certain and specific sections of your application.
Okay. Also,
Yes.
do we still host them on the normal, okay, on the 4 solutions provided? Like, do we still host them? Do we still host them on
Yeah, that is a website that is on the public internet. It's only that
like
when you are logging in, you
mm,
need to be logged into a VPN.
okay.
Yes, so that you can access the secure site, the secure section of that particular website.
Thank you.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you, Mark. That was a very nice question. Any other question?
Hello.
Yes, Samuel.
I was looking at what we just did, and I see it's a one-page website. What's
Sorry?
the advantage? It's a single page. I don't know whether it's a single page or one page, if that's the right name. What's the advantage of that over multiple page websites?
Single page. You have everything in one page. That is the major advantage, because your client would not need to navigate to other places to access any other information. So that is the major advantage of a single page website. What we
Now,
have.
for a website like PLP, is it possible that can be converted into one page, or it remains the way it is?
Now, it depends on the content. You see, like PLP has a lot of content.
Yes.
Yeah, the PLP website has a lot of content. So if you have a lot of content like that, putting it up on one single page would be very hectic to your users. That user experience would be very, very poor, such that if somebody wants to find a piece of information, they'll be scrolling endlessly until they find it. So that is not ideal. So you have multiple page websites if you have a lot of information that you want to display to your clients so that they can navigate to the next page.
Okay, thank you. So it's the content that determines the format you take.
Sorry?
It's the content that determines the format you will take, either multiple page or one page.
Yes, the content will definitely guide you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And next
Yes, sir.
question, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes,
Hello?
Bilal.
Regarding the former student who asked the question about the multiple pages, I have a query also on that.
Yes.
How many .html files do we created regarding how many pages do we want to display?
So once again, your content should guide you on that. So if you are doing a personal project and you do not have so much content, a single web page should suffice. A single web page should be more than enough. But if you have a lot of content and you need to separate that content into the different sections, then that will guide you on how many pages you actually need. Okay?
Yes.
You see, a good example is the PLP website. You see, each and every menu and sub-menu navigates you to something different. Because we have a lot of, we have so much to say. We have so much to say. That's why we are separating all this content.
Yes. Okay, sir.
Yes.
My question, I'm getting stuck on this. Do we created the index.html as a landing page, and then what do we do to link this about us, maybe our program? Or do we create every page with its .html separately?
Now, once again, I think you also did not hear my answer. So if you have a lot of content, yes, you're going to create different pages, okay?
Oh, okay.
Linking them is just an anchor tag. All these links are anchor tags.
So
That is how you
before
link the
linking,
different pages.
so before we link this about us, we also create a separate page .html which have different contents regarding the index.html.
Yes.
Okay. What I get.
Okay.
Also, I have another question. Sorry. On the point of deployment and hosting, we saw many types of hosting. We have shared, virtual, and dedicated one, and the cloud hosting. Also, we see deployment in different sites like Vassal, etc. My question is about once I have to deploy a multiple page, does it become different as I deploy a static one?
Even a multi-page can still be static. If you do not have a backend, if you're not connecting to an API, you do not have a backend, you do not have a database, that is still a static site, no matter how many pages you have. Yes, it is still static.
Okay.
Yes.
So the deployment of my page will depend on which server I want to deploy to it and my requirements.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Yes, sir. Good day, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry, the question I wanted to ask is on deployment, like posting. If the website is like an internal website, probably for an organization that serves the internal users, how is those sites being hosted? Like external people don't see it, but the domain name is being used by the internal organization to do their daily task and run their daily stuff.
Okay, one, I haven't seen an internal website using a registered domain name. Usually it is an IP address, and that one you just have a dedicated machine that is hosting that internal website. If you're going to host it using a registered domain name, then you will take a different approach. You have to take a different approach because one, you would need a static IP address. You need a static IP address. And where it is hosted, you'll also need an extra application to expose that static IP address and link it to the domain name.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Next question.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Basit from Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, let's say after the development of the website, how do we connect like the front end and the back end, like the website itself and the back end? I don't know if there's any connection. How do we connect the back end? Since you mentioned earlier that a website should be static if there is no maybe a back end connected to it or something like that.
Yeah, so unfortunately, that is not within our scope. But connection is just via what we call routes. So you'd have a route configured on the back end. And on the front end, you have an API that connects to that route. So basically, on a high level, that is how it works. Then your backend is usually connected to a database. So you have your connection details to the database, your host, your password, your username, and a port that enables connection to a database. Unfortunately, we can't go into that right now, not within our scope. But if you take full stack development as your area of specialization, you will definitely get to see how that is done.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next question, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Joshua.
Yes, Joshua.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Okay, let me use the example you gave now. Let's say we are working with a smaller project now, like the example you gave, where the HTML, the JavaScript, they are linked together. So we can deploy them seamlessly, directly like that. But let's say we are working with a bigger project now, where we have the front end and the back end separately. So how can we come up with a hosting and a deployment with the two this thing? Are we to deploy it together like that since it's a bigger project?
Yes, some of these solutions will give you the option to deploy just as one. Huh? Okay, so I'm not sure about Netlify or Vercel, but yes, you can deploy just as one. Or if your hosting provider does not provide the solution for hosting your backend, maybe because you built using a different language, you can always look for another provider who does hosting for that specific language and host your backend there. Remember, backend and frontend are very two different things. It's not a must that they be hosted in the same place if it is not possible. You can always host them separately. It is very, very possible.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, I want to ask a question, but then I may be taking us back a bit, but if I will appreciate if I will get a little clarity. So, this is capstone project, right? So are we free to come up with idea on anything? Like, is there a boundary or guidelines to the project we should come up with, or we should just come up with any solution or something and then choose any stack for the backend or something? So I just want to get clarity on that. I think I may be taking us backward. Maybe I missed some things in the past.
Yeah, so let us get it very, very clear. This is a project on the web development module. This is not a project for your overall course. Eh? Let us make that very, very clear, okay? So the assignment for week 8 is where you come up with a multi-page website. A multi-page website. Eh? I think the final project bit is throwing people off. So this will come up with a multi-page website. The instructions are very, very clear on the assignment page. The instructions are very, very clear on this one. The final assignment: build, organize, and deploy a multi-page website. I think the final project bit is throwing people off. So you are required to build a multi-page website with at least 3 pages and at most 5 pages. So here, feel free to venture into any kind of website that you can develop, but keep to the rules. Keep to the rules. You are doing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. vanilla, original. We're not using any libraries. We're not using any frameworks. Okay? So keep it as that.
So I'm behind backend of the core. So, but there's no backend. It's not supposed to have backend on the project, right? You can just have the static websites, just JavaScript and HTML, CSS. Hello?
I've said yes. There's no requirement to do a backend here. You're only doing the front end of this application. No backend is required at this phase. Any other question? Any other question? Is any other question? Esther, Stephen?
Good afternoon. Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
yes.
I was asking about our week 8 assignment. For the assignment, the project. Are we to submit the link to our GitHub repo or the link to our live website?
Link to your GitHub repo. The
Okay.
link to your live site is part and parcel of your README section. I think
Okay.
it is noted somewhere. A README file explaining your project purpose, structure, and live URL.
Okay. Thank you.
You.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Hello. I just tried deploying my website on GitHub, and then it is saying that it is not detecting the .html file. So I don't know, and it is there.
Did you select the branch?
Yes, I selected the branch.
Sure where you went wrong. Maybe can you share your screen so that you see what is done? Next question.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello.
Allow me to ask, possibly if I happen maybe to go back to what we had discussed. This is week 8, I understand, and this is when we are choosing whatever we are going to pursue for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Are we going to begin week 9 immediately, or are we going to have a break?
I'm really not sure, but there's usually a break. But I'm not so sure. I don't know how the next phase is has been arranged. But there should be an info session on Wednesday, if I'm not wrong. Wednesday is the 17th, eh?
Yes.
Yes, Wednesday is the 17th. There should be an info session on Wednesday concerning the specialization. I think more information will be provided then.
Thanks a lot, sir. Have a lovely afternoon, and thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Stephen, you can proceed. You can proceed.
Yes, I don't know if you can see my screen.
Okay, yes.
So I just deployed this. Let me go back.
I've already seen your mistake. I've already seen your mistake. Just go back. Go back. Yeah, so your mistake here is your files are contained within a directory, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so that one is wrong. Your files do not need to be within a directory
Okay.
because GitHub Pages is searching for the landing page at the root, and it is not finding it.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
So
I had even done my week 8 and I was trying to do the same and it was refusing.
can you go back to setting? Can you go back to settings, pages? Okay. Just go to branch. Just scroll down to branch, the branch section. Under root, let us see if your directory is listed there. Just click on that. Oh, it is not listed. So yeah, you need to change your
my directory. I should remove those files from the folder.
Yeah, so do that. Yes, you should do that. And then your site should be live.
Okay. And then I was asking now, which README are we going to prepare? Another README or the README in the assignment repository?
You prepare your own. You prepare your own.
So
yes,
that means we are going to remove the README on the repository.
Yeah, after you're done, I think you can remove and do your own.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, any other question before we end this session? Any other question?
Hello, can you hear me,
Yes.
sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I've been following up lately, and I have a challenge. Like a month, I was off the grid of this training program section. So I'm just trying to catch up and I'm trying to run through all what has already been done. So I don't know if um the opportunity for me was at present out of
I did.
I was
I
able
didn't
to
get your.
finish two. I'm still working on the remaining three. Can you hear me now, sir?
I'm not getting your
Yes, my
question.
network is bad. I'm sorry. Hello, sir. Can you get me now? Or can you hear me now?
Yes. What is your question?
I have challenges. Like for a month, I was off the grid of this program. Like I had issues with my gadgets and all that. So I'm trying to run through the program to meet up with the present state we have. I've Out of the 5 modules, I've meet up with two, the remaining three, which I'm working on day after day, having sleepless nights. So I want to know if there will be a space for someone like us or myself to meet up with the team before the next stage would happen. Or because I don't want to give up on this program at all, please. So I want to know if there will be a space and I want to meet up with the next stage as well. So that's what I want to know, sir.
Yeah, there's still some time, but I won't lie to you and tell you how much. There is still some time, but please make all efforts to make sure you catch up.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah,
thank,
you are
thank you
aware
very,
that
very much.
there was a cleanup. There was a cleanup, I think, earlier this month of guys who are not active. So please put in as much effort to make sure you are caught up with everything. Eh?
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that.
Any other question?
So,
Yep.
can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
I have a challenge. For the first when we deploy using a GitHub, because I'm doing the steps to get push as I'm doing always my assignment, but today refusing to push the files into the repo. I don't know what challenge I'm facing.
You don't know. What is being displayed on the terminal? What error are you getting?
Yeah, I'm there to git push. The current branch main has no upstream branch.
Yeah, so you need to pull first. You need to git pull first before you can push and commit.
So may I start with git pull?
Yeah.
But there is some time I'm trying to git pull, but still refusing. I don't know.
Have you tried git pull?
Let me try git pull. There is no tracking information for the current branch.
Can you confirm which remote repository you're using? So please just share your screen so that we start this quickly. You can share your screen, Bilal, whenever you're ready.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Bilal, you can unmute and explain the issue.
Yes, sir. Is my screen already shared? Okay. Once I navigate to this, I try to open it in VS Code and have this folder. And from there, I'm already created the GitHub repo like this. I initialize it, I git add all the files, I commit, I change the branch, but when I'm in the push, it refuses.
Can you type git checkout?
Git checkout.
The flag B. Sorry. Just write git branch.
Only Git branch.
Yeah.
It is main.
So which push command were you using?
To push.
Yeah.
Git push.
No, you need to specify the branch. Git push flag u origin main.
You've done this, Eddie. Congrats. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Was there any other question before we end this session?
Yes, there is.
Yes.
I was saying that I've been attempting my assignments, but the point has not been going on. It's just static for like 2 weeks now, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I think I've addressed this before. That is an ongoing issue, so still no resolution, but it is being addressed.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the amazing questions. Really looking forward to see your multi-page websites once you're done with them. Otherwise, do have a very lovely afternoon, or is it evening? And as always, it has been a pleasure. Let us now zip some coffee as we wait for the remaining session. So thank you so much. I hope you got to learn something. If you have any questions, any query, please reach out to me via my email address or via the Telegram link. I'll be sure to respond to you. So thank you. Have a very good evening.
Please, hello.
Yes.
Is there any position we can meet with you from today?
Yes,
Oh, it's
yes.
it's just the last one.
You can reach out to me via email. We can always organize for a consultation session. No problem.
Okay, but for the normal sessions, officially today
I'll
is
yeah, I'll have a supporting role on the full stack module.
yeah.
So if you go that route, I will be there.
Thank you, sir. We will miss you.
Okay, thank you.
But I have a funny question so far. Let me ask it right now.
Can we start laughing now? Ask away.
Uh, for the mobile app development, maybe I saw some styling there. Is it linked with the HTML that we do in web development, or what is going there?
No, that one is totally different.
Okay.
It has a very different approach from what we've been doing.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be introduced to different syntax. So prepare for that.
Yeah, I was wondered. I think it was CSS. Which
Might look
otherwise,
similar, but
yes.
yeah, but the syntax is a bit different.
And how about these applications which are we found in our mobile, and it has also a website?
Yeah, you can actually create a web application and make it installable as an application on your mobile phone. That is possible.
Okay. So
Excuse me.
a web developer can build an application, or
Yes.
a mobile application can build a website.
Yeah, depending on your skill level, but
Yes.
specifically for a web developer,
Yeah.
you can create what we refer to as a single page application. That one is also installable on mobile.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how about it to transfer the whole website, like the PLP Academy website, to be a mobile application?
Yeah, it is also possible. There are tools and technologies for that.
And will that technology lie on the web development, or it should be fetched from the mobile application or something for fun?
Oh, so you just have your website.
Yeah.
You feed it your website files, and it will develop for you a mobile app.
Okay. Okay, thanks.